computer. Okay, and I'll just whack my printer. Hey everybody, my name is Michelle Stuchel and I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador, and I'm so excited to be with you tonight on our team call. And I titled this team call, Back to Basics, KISS, Keeping It Simple, Sweetheart. And I don't know if you're anything like me. Well, here's my disclaimer. Nothing tonight is brand new. Nothing tonight is this huge revelation. There's nothing new under the sun. We are going back to the basics. Because if you're anything like me, you can tend to make things complicated. What's the right wording? What's next? Are we doing a blitz? What's the next event? What's the latest and greatest? What is this person doing? What is that person doing? Is it a launch party? What's the new incentive? And then that shiny thing that's being dangled in front of you, you just gravitate to. And you can lose sight of the big picture, the simple picture, that this is all about loving people. This is all about loving and serving people. And it's not the shiny iPad, it's not the kicks, it's not the watch, which all of those things are great. But my end goal is diamond. And I remember a live that Fallon did, and she said, you know what? All of these incentives are great, and look at how many of you won this iPad. You busted your butt for 6 joins, right? Well, if you did that all the time, you would rank up and you could buy as many as many iPads as you want. And that's my goal. My goal is not necessarily to get my incentive. My long-term end game goal is financial freedom for me and my family. And that is our end goal. And so we want to make sure that we do the right things, right? To do the right things. And it is simple. Recruit, retain, duplicate, build your leadership, repeat. In a nutshell, me plus 3, developing silvers. Boom. Secret to success. This business does not have to be complicated. And that's one of the reasons it's for everyone. This is simple and practical, and everybody can do it. And you've heard that said 1,000 times. 20% is skill, 80% is mindset, right? And here's the thing, much of the time, it's not about doing harder work. Again, this is about doing the right work, the right activities, not spending all your time on your preset, not fidgeting with the wording on the 3rd paragraph of your post. It's about recruiting, retaining, and duplicating. And honestly, that is simple. It can be very simple when you don't make it complicated. Let's talk about duplication for a second, because here's the deal. Everything you're doing, you are duplicating. And if you're a parent, you've learned this, right? Because you see your kids and they're doing what you're doing. I'll never forget my firstborn. She was just about 2, and she was playing with her baby doll. And I hear her, and she's got her baby doll, and she said, I told you to obey. Whap! It's like, oh my gosh, did she really just do that? We duplicate, what we do all the time, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whatever we model for our team, that's what they're going to do. And they pick up the good as well. My oldest daughter went on her first mission trip this summer, and one of the leaders on the trip texted me and said, Elena did devotions tonight. Like, really? Did someone ask her? Did she volunteer? And so when she called that night, I said, tell me about your day. And she didn't offer that she had led devotions. I said, well, did you guys have devotions? And she goes, oh yeah, I led devotions. I said, well, what'd you talk about? And she said, well, I don't really want to tell you. Okay, fine. I know you're going to get it out of me. She goes, I talked about the power of life and death in the tongue. Okay, there, I said it. And you know why she said that? Because I talk about that all the time. we're modeling, we're duplicating, and everything that we do, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And because all of you are all in, all of you would, the reason why you're here on a Monday night giving up precious family time is because you want to reach that end goal game, right? So you want to learn the skills, and we want to make sure that we are modeling the best, simple, right behaviors for our team so that we can duplicate properly. Because whatever you're going to do is going to duplicate, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And so, duplication. This is completely on a side note, but I think some of you need to hear this. Kind of like going back to that parenting example, you can't just take a snapshot of where your child is in their growth and development and think that's the end product. The same way, you cannot take a snapshot of where you are in your business and think that's your end product. Some of you need to hear that you are not defined by your points or your rank or where you are right now. That does not have to be your story. It's absolutely part of your story, but that doesn't have to define your story or be the end. That's up to you. Will you learn the simple skills and do the heavy lifting in personal growth and discipline and stick to the right simple things, the right simple actions that will give you the results that you want? Okay, so what are those simple things? What are those right things? And what I've learned is that a simple shift can make the world of a difference. Okay, look at the way I'm sitting right now. I don't know if you can see this. I'm kind of hunched over, okay? Now, a simple shift, when I'm putting my shoulders back and down, all of a sudden, I'm standing taller. Well, sitting. I'm sitting taller. I feel straighter, and I feel taller. My posture has improved. Let me say that again. My posture has improved. Why? Because of a simple shift. What simple shift do you need to make that will make all the difference in your posture? And isn't that one of the most, if not the most critical element in our business? Our posture, our belief, because people are attracted and they follow passionate leaders. What simple shift do you need to make? Again, none of this is rocket scientist. None of this is brand new. You've heard this 1,000 times, but listen and look with humble eyes to say, you know, God, where do I need to make that simple shift from this to this that will make all the difference in the world? Okay? So, where do you need to make that simple shift? We say it like this because you can know all these things, but knowledge puffs up unless you act on it. I mean, I should be a diamond by now by everything I know, but it's applied knowledge and doing the right things over time. Take what you learn, take what you see, take what you learn and put it into practice. You know, in the Bible, they say it like this: faith without works is dead. So I don't care how much I know, I need to put these things into practice, okay? So take some notes and make those little notes about what are those simple shifts you need to make. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of Plexus Church tonight. And this was so funny. We went to church yesterday and we started this new series. Our pastor started this new series, and it's called the All In series. And it's this growth track that he's taking all the congregations through, because we have, I don't know, 6, 7, 15 campuses. Not really 15, but we have a lot. And everybody that comes to our church that wants to learn more is going to go through this kind of Sunday school class. It's a 4-week series. And he said, in the church world, we have a word for wholehearted, long-term, all-in faith. Normal. It's called normal. And when you're all in with Plexus, these behaviors are normal, okay? All in, reach the end goal game, and that's what you want. You want this normal living, right? And he said this: the 4 marks of followers of Jesus who are all in is we reach our one. We reach other people, right? We recruit, okay? We're reaching our one. And he used this parable, and he said, you know, There's a parable in the Bible where there's a farmer and he's scattering seed, right? He's scattering seed everywhere. He's farming and he's throwing the seed everywhere and he spreads the seed. And some falls on a path and the birds eat it. Some fall on rocky places where it didn't have much soil and it sprang up quickly, but with no roots. It was quickly scorched by the sun. Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plant so it didn't bear fruit. Still other seed fell on good soil and, created a plant. And what's the difference? What's the difference? Was it the seed? No, it was the soil. You keep scattering. You keep sending out messages. You keep reaching out to people knowing that not everyone's going to come forth. Not everyone's going to join right away. That's why we have to keep doing our IPA on a regular basis, right? But if you keep digging, you will eventually hit the goals. And that's the foundation for everything, right? Because you can't duplicate what you don't have. So how do you do this? Can you believe that this is what my pastor said? He said, connect, share your story, invite. That's what my pastor said. And no, he did not get the Me+3 training. Connect, share your story, invite. People. This is why network marketing is simple. This business is about relationships. If you're a Christian like I am, study Jesus. This is what he did. He didn't sell heaven. He didn't sell his business. He walked with people. He walked with people. He had dinner parties. He told stories. He loved. Okay? You connect with them. And it's all about them, not you, not me. And I'm preaching to myself. Okay? It is about relationships. I don't know if any of you saw the training that Ashley Kinzel and Genevieve did last week. And she went Emerald in 7 months. 7 months. And when she hit Emerald, she did not have anybody higher than Silver on her team. And you know what she said? You talk to people. You deepen relationships, not to sell Plexus. You care about people. Otherwise, you look salesy, and people can smell that a mile away. Look at the conversations you're having with people that you're following up with. Is every message, hey, we've got a great sale going on. Hey, we've got free enrollment. Hey, we've got free shipping this month. Hey, I saw this and thought of you. When was the last time you looked at their feed and saw that they were moving, or that their kid was sick, or that they're so excited that it's pumpkin season even though we're still sweating and it's a bajillion degrees here in Savannah, right? We are not hunters, we are farmers. Are you connecting with them? Because people, we don't lead with Plexus, we lead people. We don't lead Plexus, we lead people. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? We all love John Maxwell, and he says that. You care about people, and 100%, and I guarantee you they will join you when you deeply care, okay? Bob Heilig says it like this, and I love him so much, and I know everyone does. We all love it. He says, are your eyes on what you can achieve? Are your eyes on your paycheck? And there's nothing wrong with paychecks. I'm in this because I want a paycheck, right? Or are your eyes on how many people you can impact? And how do you do that? By loving them, by knowing what you're about, by knowing who you are, by knowing your purpose. Are you success driven or paycheck driven, which you can earn some nice money and go on a couple trips? Or are you impact driven, purpose driven, which will allow you to create a legacy? Because I guarantee you, God is not, whatever you give, God's going to give back to you. And when you care, when you really care for people, they will go to the grave for you. When you link arms and they know that you care, and you find those like-minded people that believe as you believe, you're going to link arms and you're all going to go to Maui together, right? It's about impact, and it's about caring for people. You ask questions about them. There's someone that needs to be muted. I don't know who it is. You ask questions and you connect with people and share your story. What do? You share a story or you share a tool. If you haven't written down your why, like Bob Heilig says to do,
look at the bottom.
Okay, I think I found who needs to be.
Because I need to.
Okay, do that. Take the time to write down your why. We're almost, okay, there we go, muted her again. Take the time to write down your why, because we use tools, Me+3, right? You use a tool, but your story is also a tool. And I will, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to read my why, but it's less than 2 minutes, and it's a powerful thing, because here's the deal. Your story has power. Stories have power to touch the emotions, and people make decisions based on the part of their brain that's in touch with emotions, not necessarily the part of their brain that's in touch with logic. And people need to know your story. There are people that Tracy could reach that I can't reach simply because they need to know your story. Okay? And if you don't have a story, you don't know what to share, that's okay. Tell somebody else's. When I'm talking to a teacher, I share Christina's story. When I'm talking to a nurse, I share Brooke Hemingway's story or Sarah Marble's. Use a tool, and everyone can do this. It is simple. Everybody can type in something in the search bar in Facebook and find a tool and get an answer, okay? You don't need to know all the science or why it's working. You just, sometimes the most powerful you can say is, all I can say is, once I was blind and now I see. Once I was sick and now I'm not. I used to be on all these meds and now I'm not. We used to be in debt and now I'm redoing my family room. That's simple. Everybody can do that. Remember what we have our hands on. These products and opportunities are changing lives. Leggings and purses and mascara don't change lives. Mascara maybe, not really. But what we have is a gift, and people need what we have, the products and the business. And when the right people see it and you cultivate it and you simply love them, ask questions, use a tool and invite them, they will come. It's not just about getting new joins. It's about you giving the gift that you've been given to other people. And then when they join you, simple process, right? Duplication. Add them to your team page. Get them on a 3-way call if you haven't already. Invite them to the Plexus webinars that they're doing, which are fantastic. Introduce them to the corporate culture we have. They are incredible calls. Use the product webinars that they have on Tuesday. Share that corporate culture. It really is amazing. Introduce people to the Plexus ambassador page. It is so powerful. And then you teach them to do the same. And when you're all doing that, the Me+3, that's when magic happens, right? None of what I said is hard. It's simple. But when you're all rowing in the same direction, guess what? The boat gets to the edge a lot faster. So what's the next step? Holy cow, it's 9:20. It's duplication and silvers. Silver. Do you have a retention issue? Guess what the answer is? Silver. Do you want to get to your rank faster? Guess what the answer is? Silver. Do you want to build belief in the products for people? Guess what the answer is? Silver. It's kind of like in Sunday school when Jesus is always the right answer, right? Guess what? 99% of the time, silver is your answer, right? This is the recipe for success. Do any of you have a fear about developing silvers? Can we just be real? Has anybody had a fear about that? Let me make this simple. It's easy. And I'm preaching to myself. This is just another skill. Do you remember how you felt the first time you reached out to somebody? You were kind of nervous, right? But you learned how to do it. Like now, I'm not nervous about reaching out to me. My belief is so high. I know what I have on my hands. I know where I'm going, and I want to take as many people with me as possible. Guess what? It's a skill set, and you can do the same thing with developing silvers, especially this month. Especially this month. And guess where it starts? With connecting and relationships, right? So there are so many great videos on this. Brooke Hemingway's The Roadmap. I'll put it in the comments of this. Brooke Hemingway has a fantastic video on this. Lori Welch and Amber Miller did a great call at the beginning of the month on getting your people to go silver. Ashley's corporate call last month was a great one on how to go silver. But all you do is teach them how to do what we just talked about, right? You will eventually start sharpen your skills by knowing how to talk to people, knowing their colors, but you just do your new joins and start with your back office. Go look at your happy product users and say, you love your products, right? You have been loving these products. Tell me about your results. I bet you know so many people that would love to have better sleep and more energy and lose a couple pounds. Who in your life wants to have those results? And then stay quiet. Let me back up. I think one of the things that holds us back, one of our fears of developing silvers, because the reality is we have 80% happy product users, right? And 20% are all in with the business, okay? But of all those people, about 43% of those people have a nurturing voice. They are averse to conflict. They're yellow. They want to help people. They don't want to be direct, and they care a lot about what people think. They don't want to be pushy, and they're nervous. They don't want to be rejected, and they don't want to seem salesy. It's our job to help our ambassadors flip that script. Of course, you're not going to be pushy. People can say no, right? And it's our job, what we have been given, and this is where it starts with belief. What we have been given is such an incredible gift. I shudder to think if Brittany had not shared with me, I would be sicker. I would still be, my life would be so different now. I cannot even tell you. My whole family's life is different. My husband would still be a stress case. I'd be miserable, in bed, and sick, still homeschooling my kids, sucking down coffee. I just don't even want to go there. What we have is a gift, and we can offer that to people. It's our job to help flip that script. Instead of thinking so much about what if they don't want it, what if they do? What if you're the answer that they've been praying for? Be brave. Share what you've been given without pressure. This is not about making a sale. This is about offering. Brittany says this all the time. It's like you're a waitress at a restaurant and you're offering coffee to people. I don't get offended when someone offers me a cup of coffee. If I want it, I say sure. And if not, I say no, thank you. But we give people the option. We give them and expose them the opportunity, because what if they want to say yes, right? So this is what we do. We learn a few scripts to use with people, and we don't prejudge who we use them with. You don't say, oh, this person is already a success. This person is already so busy, because a lot of times the most successful people in our business are already busy. You want to look for successful people because they already have those habits that make them successful. And when they see, and Abby Kappa said this on her podcast, don't be alarmed or afraid if it takes you longer to get one of those successful people on your team, because by nature, they're very busy and they're skeptical. But when you do get them, buckle your seatbelt, because you're going to be in for a really fun ride. Don't prejudge who needs this. People may have looked at me and thought, well, she doesn't need an opportunity. But what they didn't see is, yes, my husband's a lawyer. Yes, we live in this wonderful, beautiful house, but I have 3 girls and my husband works for the government, and that's not a cash cow. And we've got 3 weddings and 3 colleges to pay for, and we don't believe in debt. So I desperately wanted to earn more money so that I could help relieve some of the pressure on my husband. Don't prejudge. So you give your people scripts. You say things like, if you love these products, would you be telling people about them? How hard is that? Very easy. You're planting a seed. Say things like, and you're keeping it simple. You say things like, I know, who in your life, people are 85% more likely to be successful when they have accountability partners. And we all have people in our life that don't feel their best. Who do you know that struggles with high blood pressure, cholesterol, has a little bit of extra weight, thyroid issues, anxiety, allergies? Who do you know that struggles with these things that may be open to learning more about Plexus. And then you keep your mouth shut and wait for them to answer. And then you help them. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to tag your people on a post and say, boom, go read this post. This is how you go silver. Don't give people homework. Keep it simple for them. I never would have done that if Brittany had told me to do that. You help them. You don't do it for them. You do it with them. This is what Lori and Amber said. You do it with them and through them. Send them scripts to send to their people, and then you have them screenshot you back answers, and then you help them. And you do that. Remember, we're modeling in everything we do. I do, we do, you do. And it's simple. You're just repeating the same simple steps from me plus 3 and above. It's that little bridge of, giving them that opportunity to share. Who else do you know that may be interested in this? Or something like this. I'm going to ask you to do what I did, make a first post. You know what? Because you're going to be more accountable when you put it out there that you're doing this. And there are people that may want what you have. And then send it right there. Brooke says this on her videos. She types out the script and boom, hits click and sends right away. You make it simple in everything you do. This is not rocket science. Okay, we've all had those people that say, well, I want my story first, right? We want their story first. And then you can simply say something to the effect of, you know what, your story is your story. My story is allergies. I will never have a story for migraines or thyroid issues because I never struggled with that. But I can still share because these products deal with root issues. So still think about, who in your life could benefit from this, because we all have people in our lives that want to feel better, right? And you inspire and expose. You inspire and expose. Let's see. Now, what about the person that has told you, no, I'm not interested in selling at all? This is what Ashley Kinzel said, which I thought was so brilliant. She said, I know you're not interested in selling or sharing, but I want to make sure I cover all my bases with you. I just want you to know, to make sure that you'll earn you'll earn $25 every time somebody orders a welcome pack, just like you did, and you have the opportunity to make up to $420 in your first 30 days. This month, it's $520. I just want to make sure that you understand that. Boom, you've planted a seed. That's easy. Keep these scripts in your phone, and as you keep using them, they'll become second nature to you, right? Do what I did, make a post. Let's see. Here's what Genevieve said. What Genevieve says in the training. I have no idea if this is a fit for you, or if you're comfortable doing this, but there are people in your life that are really praying for relief. Who do you know that may want more information? Stick them in a 3-way chat with me, and I'll help you and be the go-between, and you'll learn from me. And it's so much more fun when you do this and you get duplication going. Does that make sense, people? This is all about relationships. And the more that you've cultivated the relationship in the beginning, the more people are going to be open to even going silver, because they know that you care about them, not just what they can do for you. I'm going to say that again. As you cultivate the relationship with the people, and I'm not talking about being everybody's best friend, because that's an impossibility, but as you truly care about them, as you have conversations that are not just about Plexus, but you're asking them questions, you're commenting on their posts, you've built rapport, and then you talk about silver, they know you, and they know that you're not just after a paycheck, right? Because you're after impact, and you keep following up. Really quickly, last thing, as you keep it simple and you're reaching out to people and you're developing silvers and you're duplicating all these things, the heavy lifting comes in these 2 words: personal growth. Personal growth. If you're stuck, it's a personal growth issue. Bob said this, you'll never outperform who you see yourself to be, and your habits reflect how you view yourself. This is where personal growth comes in. If you've gone really wide without going deep, without having silvers, because you want at least 10% of your people going silver, you need to look at that. Is it a fear that you have about what people think of you? Is it you don't know what to say? Is it a skill issue? Or is it a belief issue? And only you can answer that question. But you have to take the time to grow so that you can answer those questions. And 100% of the time, the skill issues are simple. You keep it simple. You reach out to people. You share your story. You invite them, and you teach others to do the same. When you continue to build your belief in the products and what we have, you can't help but do that. When you remember where you used to be, either on the business side, in debt, slave to work hours, slave to the man, and not feeling good, and you realize where you are now, you can't help but share that, and you want others to feel the same. And guess what? The paycheck will follow. And here's what it comes down to. All these skills, it really, when we were I think the first time I heard this was on Ruby Retreat, when Genevieve says, it basically comes down to this: make a decision. And the Latin root for decision means to cut off. And when you make a decision, I'm going to keep my eyes on the prize. I'm not going to go for the shiny thing. My eyes are on the end game, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get there. Make that decision and do the heavy lifting with your personal growth. And the skills are simple. Just take the time to develop them, learn the scripts, and care about people, because ultimately that's what it's about. So again, none of this was new, but jot down, take 5 minutes and think about, what is the area that you need to work on? Is it developing silvers? Is it knowing what to say? Is it the belief that you can do silvers? Is it something that you need to work on with affirmations? Talk to your upline, talk to your sponsors. Is it, duplication? Whatever it is, write down those things so that you can work on it, because it's not complicated and you can do it. So I hope you guys were encouraged and got a little nugget out of it. And have a great week. And I cannot wait to see where everyone lands at the end of this month. Have a great night, everybody.